Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to the Godbreaker playtest. It's a third-person action spectacle fighter roguelike, which actually sounds pretty cool. I don't know too much else beyond this, but it landed in my inbox, and I'm like, sure, let's give this a shot. I'm a sucker for interesting roguelikes, and going for more of like a co-op spectacle fighter seems kind of fun. I think you can play up to 4 players, but I'm going to be playing solo today. Control-wise, it's pretty standard if you've ever played Darksiders or Elden Ring or something like that. It's kind of in there. But it looks nice. It's very, Solar Ash, if I had a comparison.
To get to the monad, you need to cross the great psychatic plane. A bunch of sand that taught itself to think. It's conductive, so mind your step.
Your first true obstacle is the compiler, an old discarded skull of Urs. Defeating that will make for a great trial run.
Okay. Yeah, I can animation cancel through a lot of things. Oh. Avoid that. Alright, selector. So what can we grab? Attacks have a 2% chance of chain lightning. Source light generation by 2, or attacks have a chance to apply decay. Damage every second for 8 seconds. Jumps between targets. So, probably good against bosses. I think I'm going to go for necrotic wounds. Heal 15% extra damage. Taking damage will remove this effect for 30 seconds. Sure. So I only have a couple of slots for these, which is... a little unfortunate. Is there anything I can interact with? Whoop. Okay, so that explodes. So don't mess with that. Attempt to decode.
We have no time to stop and read these.
Rude. Okay, so the visual style is immediately catching my attention. I like that a lot. Okay, so he's gonna just pop into the ground. I don't know what the other guy is doing. So I can also do this, where I go into the enemy, explode them from within, ow, and then I can actually steal their power. Oh. That's actually kind of good. Alright, so that'll explode. This will also explode. What is this? Hitting an enemy applies a stack of temporal transfer. 10 stacks, all stacks are consumed. Enemy gets slowed, you get speed. Sure? I don't quite like the slot limitations.
In the ancient past, the mineral body of the earth was raised up. Sand taught itself to think, brought to war with the etheric living forces of the world. The machine, having previously only been able to shape physical matter, could now influence minds.
We go for just chance to burn. We're gonna just try and stack a bunch of status effects.
We have no time to stop and read these.
Rude. I wonder if that's like a meta progression thing, or if I just can't do it until future runs. But yeah, I've never been a fan of slot limitations in my roguelikes. That always feels not great to me. Let's just blow this guy up from within again. Okay, so we get prismatic, whatever that is. Another selector. Source light generation, decay on hit. So will this just add more stacks to necrotic wounds? I hope so. So there we go. Chest has got healthy shoulders. Increases crit chance when your health is above. Sure. I mean, I'm not using that slot, so I might as well put something into it. Okay, let's just wait for these guys to get a bit closer. Guess it didn't really matter. Actually, let's just use that. And then plonk him big. Is there anything else, or is that it? I guess that's it. I'll be upset if I leave without actually picking up all of the upgrades, but I think that was it so far. I like these kind of cave systems. This feels good. Boss fight already. Okay, he do roll. Skip those. Yeah, unfortunately I can't do my merge explode them from within ability. Okay, and I don't know what he's doing. Okay, here we go. Avoid those for a second. He's really gonna try and catch me in a trap here. If I can get anything that gives me movement speed, I will take it. I love the animation canceling on this. That feels extremely good to me. Oh, burned to death. Okay, let's go into this. Unfortunately, this might blow up in my face. Nope, we're good. That'll do some damage to him. Go for that. Alright, feels really good. The one complaint I have is, as far as I can tell, there is no way to lock a camera on. But that's okay.
That's one giant skull down.
Okay.
One to go.
Crit does more damage for every dot on the target, which is something I was kind of scaling for. Charge attacks consume dot.
Of history. At its center is the inner archive. Break in there and slay to rip open a portal into the next sphere.
Then there are just a few more gods for you to break.
You can do it.
Well, looks like it's fine. Interesting that I think these are supposed to be kind of like weird machine gods going on. I'm going to turn this off. Some people are going to complain about the fact that I'm covering the UI here. Really, it's just like cooldowns, but people don't like my avatar. Sometimes. Alright, I'm just going to merge with this guy, explode him up, and we are good. Grab the goodies. Anything else? No. Yeah, the game feel on this is extremely good. Okay, stay away from the explosive. Don't let the... rude. I was gonna let the explosive finish him off, but he just scuttles out of the way. I mean, is what it is. Not the end of the world. And I don't think there's the ability to run. Oh! Also, the upgrades I'm picking up actually have, like, an effect on my character. That's nice. But yeah, game feel is great. The visuals are pristine. I really like how this looks. Okay, he's toast. Then there's just Chomper. We're taking a little bit of chip damage. If I could get a smidge of healing, that'd be lovely at some point. I mean, obviously, I have an Estus Flask is the thing on the left, but I want to save that for boss fights where I'm actually in trouble. Probably. Oh, you can backtrack for some reason. Low. Trade and upgrade. Trade. Merchant can buy and recycle items. Items in the inventory can be recycled. Oh, okay. So I guess this is where the slots are kind of good. So deal extra damage, but taking damage removes it. That one's fine. I think I'm going to get rid of the temporal chest. Crit chance above 10% when your health. I'm going to recycle that as well. We do actually want to boost my crit chance, but Source light generation, running speed. Those are all good. I think I want to hold on to those. So what do you have? Chance to reflect, crit chance. This is the one I want to pick up. What is this? Secondary attacks have a 20% increased crit chance, but primary attacks of less. Or Star Slate generation by a little bit. Reroll stock, we have one reroll, or I could heal. Use a reroll, see what I can get. 4 more crit chance, tempting. Dot damage increased by 50%, direct damage decreased by 10. Attacks have a chance to apply burning. Enemies that die with burning have a chance to spread the dots. Dash attacks trigger chain lightning. We're not speccing into chain lightning, so like, while that's actually really good, it is tempting though. It's not expensive. And yeah, I could also get rid of this one. I think I'm going to get rid of critical torment. Because I think the 5% greater chance of burning is good. Go for the dash, has a chance to burn. Go for that. I don't... That is good, though. We can also upgrade. Select fragments in your inventory, spend things to upgrade them. So, increased chance to spread the dot. More dot damage. Yeah, so I can't actually afford any of these at the moment. And it's only the... Oops. It's only these. Ah, yeah, so some of these upgrades are great. But, obviously can't afford it at the moment. And it's okay. However, we have a much more like dot-centric build that I can actually do things with.
Focused on my work, I've been trying to ignore you. But the ruckus you're causing is making that impossible.
Huh. Okay, so he's got shields going on. Okay, hang out next to this. Unfortunately, these things cannot be set on fire, so I'm actually kind of crap against them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I see. Ooh, the full light combo is amazing. Okay, I can explode this guy. It's this one. Oop. Awkward. Okay, it's got other patterns. I like the full light combo. That's really good. So I think you want to go for full light combo if you're going for full DPS. Okay, we've got him under a threshold. About as good as I'm getting people to get. Okay, a lot of them burn, which is kind of what I was hoping for. Feels like there's more tentacles now. But at least they burn. Okay. And if I go fast, I can get the full 3-hit combo in. Oh, he's got beam attacks now. I can work with that. Yeah, this is some of the best boss fights I think I've seen in a like an action roguelike. Like, frankly, I actually almost kind of wish this was a full-on, like, action RPG. I think the roguelike elements are fine. Oop. This. Okay, did not actually get him with that. Okay, so we want to get rid of the beam boy, if possible. The tentacles are annoying, but manageable. And they're going to break the divers for me. Alright, let's just blow this guy up from within. We don't have much to worry about. Yeah, the nice part is, like, there isn't that much overwhelm here. So I can kind of take my time when clearing these things out. This actually feels really good. I think I'm gonna lean into my comparison to Darksiders a bit. Alright, there we go. And yeah, I can see this being a lot of fun with friends, too. And yeah, it seems like the best thing for me to do is just a whale. There we go. Was that it?
Or should make a note of that. That big head will be back, you know. These things have a tendency to put themselves back together.
I'm just going to recycle these. None of these are amazing. At least not for what I'm trying to do. We have this, not available in the demo, and this is leave. It's freaking rad. Problem is, that is the end of the demo. It's like 20 minutes in. Ah. Yeah, I could inspect, but I want to put more time into that, but that is, I think, too short for me to mess around more. So new appearance for the Lancer, new ability for the Lancer, Pillar archetype is available, new head, and Skullcracker defeat the compiler. I guess I can.
Above your weight. We'll give you that. If
Might
you
just be
ever
a shorter
needed something
video.
Destroyed or driven to extinction, you could always trust the humans.
Keep at it. At this rate, we will be done with this mess in a few thousand cycles. Hopefully by then, the monad will not have spread far beyond the local star cluster.
Most of those stars are mad old hags anyways.
Ooh, that's a pretty spear. But yeah, let's try the Crusher. Yeah, those are going to be fun to play around with. I can also be purple this time, for reasons. And change my head. Defeat 15 enemies using traps. Or defeat chompers. I mean, I guess I'm just going to have a freaky head going on. There's meta progression, but sadly it's not available in the demo. So, I guess, yeah, let's just do another run of this and see what we can do. I wish the, for the demo, like devs, if you're listening, maybe just have it that you can actually play the demo endlessly, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, there's no current limitations. You can play it over and over again. I want to be able to loop.
This tale holds the essence of all that is boundless and interconnected. It is the eternal song of existence itself.
Like, make the game tougher. Make the game tougher with every successive loop, but it feels like this would be a good candidate for that. Just as a, like, making people play more. Because as it stands, it's like a very satisfying 20 minutes. What does this ability do? Oh, it gives me a barrier. I'm kind of ambivalent to that, but that's okay. Because yeah, part of the problem is I didn't really feel like I got to experience a build there. We were getting there, but that was about it. So the one thing I would say within this that I'm going to gripe about, I like the stat min-maxing. It feels like there's a lot of potential there.
The birth of the monad was not inevitable. It came about due to a flaw. A mistaken premise in thinking shared by machines and humans. A stain within the monad's mind.
Let's see. I like the stat scaling. I feel like you can do some interesting scaling within that. Oh, leave that alone. There we go. Killing an enemy has a chance to apply a debuff to enemies within 5 meters. I'll snag it. We're not really intending to go for debuffs here. But hey, if that's all I'm given, that's all I got. But yeah, the fact that you only have 5 meaningful upgrades and then after that it's only stat scaling, I think that's fine, but I could see that being... I could see that feeling unsatisfying for lengthier runs. Especially if there's not much that you can do with them. Like, obviously, they have some really solid interplay between. But almost all of them, as far as I can tell, have one singular upgrade path. You just scale up a stat. Oh, that actually did damage? That's a good time. I'm getting a little bit better about pulling off some of these ability combos. And so, what I'd say is wait, I can explode the compiler from within. I did not expect that. Okay, performing a backstab gives you speed. Air attacks against enemies that have debuff or dot applies a stack of doom on the target. Or killing an enemy restores stamina. Those are all good. Problem with backstab. I guess I'll try it. The problem is backstab works a lot better when you're when you actually have friends to work with, rather than playing solo. Oh, that's fun. Oops, that's not it. Yes, I can actually just... Seems like air attacks are actually pretty good here. Ow. Slightly deserved that, but that's fine. Selector. So attacks have a chance to apply burning on hit, increases all healing, increases running speed. I'm actually going to go for the running speed. This guy being able to just zip around a little faster is going to be helpful. That is really, like, the setting on this is really cool looking. But yeah, having more powers and abilities that... Oops, I forgot to use the compiler ability. Or, no, maybe I did use it. Okay, those backstabs are really good. If you can pull them off. But yeah, randomized effects are powers that kind of synergize between all of the different creatures. Oop, I think my wife just decided to swallow her, or breathe in her water bottle. Okay, now that my wife is no longer going to explode from inserting tea into her lungs, let's continue on. Yeah, I like this. This is a good series of, or a good combat situation, or combat mechanics, something like that. I think the main thing is just figuring out how to make it more roguelike-y. What I would say within this is, like, it has such good bones, but I think it needs more passives that kind of can be equipped just like the stat ups. But they're permanent and maybe attached to things. So do we want to apply more burning, decay, vulnerable? What does vulnerable do? Increases damage taken. We already apply some burning, so I guess we could just go for more burning. Lean on that. Because yeah, the problem is I don't really have much of a like feeling of identity for this build. Okay. I'm gonna take some doing. There we go. Pop the chest open. What does this have? Killing an enemy restores stamina versus devious speed. I think I am going to do that. Devious speed is... I like the idea of it. The actual execution has some rough parts. Oh, is this a bonus room? Or no. This is the correct way to continue. I just noticed that there were some extra goodies in the back. That was the limitation. Yeah, the speed boost for hitting things from behind is nice, but just tricky to pull off well. But yeah, passives that have like interesting interplay between the gear and equipment beyond just the small stat bonuses, because these are nice and can be useful, but having only 5 things, each of which only have linear upgrade paths, as like the linchpin of your build, really doesn't work as a long-term run. Dash leaves a trail that does damage to enemies. Combo attacks increases absorbed power. Chance to trigger chain lightning. Secondary attacks have increased crit chance. I'm just gonna reroll stock, see what we've got. Chance to apply poison, decay, or who's seen those? So what is this one? Killing an enemy has a chance to apply a debuff to enemies, or killing an enemy has stamina. What are the upgrades on this one? So restores 3 stamina. That's good for getting around. Oh, whenever this fragment spreads a debuff, you gain a random buff. Well, that's pretty good. Okay. And all things considered, poison. Let's just go crit. That's all I've got. I don't know if 4% crit is any better than 4% chance to poison things.
To me, you are just a whirlwind butterfly, a blur of graceful motion and dazzling color against the dark backdrop of eternity.
Should probably actually use my special, seeing as I have it. No immediate rush, though. Like, credit where credit is due, this thing does decent chunk of damage. But yeah, the other concern I would have mostly boils down to, these are extremely cool boss fights. I would be a little worried long term in terms of this boss fight. This combat system is so good. This combat system is so good and refined and like mechanically smooth. It's actually kind of easy to play it hitless, at least at the moment. I think you could say that about a lot of roguelikes, but like, as long as I'm not really messing up, I'm functionally immortal here. And that makes this a little tricky from a, like, design perspective. Because it's one of those where it's like, this is such a cool boss fight, but I can't see myself really getting into playing more than a handful of runs of it. Because unless the bosses have like alternate patterns, or there's like 5 or 6 bosses. Like if this boss had a couple of different forms that you can kind of run into with different patterns to mix things up a little bit. I know there's tangles that can maybe apply like difficulty modifiers, but I'm thinking like this guy. Many tentacles, single tentacle, lasers, tons of summons and almost no tentacles. Stuff like that would, I think, make a bit of a difference in terms of replay value. Or just having like 2 or 3 tier 1 bosses that you run into. It's why I kind of mentioned the whole it's why I'd mentioned the whole what was it? Shoot. No, never mind, I've lost it completely. I love the mid bosses as well, but oh, it's why I mentioned I think this might work better as a like a full-on action RPG rather than a repetitive roguelike. Kind of. I'm being maybe a little too critical here. I'm mostly thinking from the perspective of like, this has the potential to be as good as something like Gunfire Reborn, if it actually had that level of like build crafting. As it stands, it feels like it would be a really good romp for a couple of hours. You know, play with friends for a weekend or 3, beat all the content, unlock some stuff, and then say, yep, that's it. You know, only load this game up here and there. Attacks have a chance to trigger chain lightning, but it's like a 5%, but it's good. All lightning can jump 2 additional times. Like, if you really lean into some of these, I bet it would be a lot of fun. But alas, not available in the demo, so we can't continue on to the next biome, so time to leave again. I didn't even have to use a healing item. But yeah, you just need tons of build crafting opportunities, things to make you go like absolutely off the rails to make it exciting. Because I think without, it's just going to be like a good fun time for a little while, and that's it. Yeah, 6 biomes, bizarre creations, more archetypes, powerful abilities. And who knows, maybe the full version really does have a lot more of this stuff. It's a new ability on Pillar, and we have a different aesthetic as well. Or skin? Yeah, what is the Pillar's other ability? Because this one's okay. Taunt all enemies... Oh. Taunt all enemies in a 20-meter radius for the next 3 seconds. Absorb all damage taken. Absorb damage is then released in a 5-meter radius. And I do like the different classes that I'm seeing here. Like, it seems like a lot of these would be fun to play around with. So, yeah, really, I would just say give players more build options. The fact that I went into that boss fight with only, like, 2 equipped items and, like, some amount of stat passives, it's fine, but I didn't really feel like that build is going to be any different. Oh, okay, let me back off. The problem I have with, you know, really restrained build crafting, especially when it's only like a 5% chance to chain lightning, even though it does boost the chain lightning further, the problem with that is that if you have that restrained of build crafting, if I do another run with a Lancer, is it going to feel any different from any of my other Lancer runs? Not really, no. One of the things that Hades gets right is that a lot of your abilities don't just change your damage, they don't just give you a damage over time effect. Some do weird and different things, you know, going for Poseidon gives you knockback. Going for Zeus gives you chain lightning, so it's very good at taking out groups of enemies. Every time you pick up a different god's spell boost. Back in Hades 1, I haven't actually played enough Hades 2 to talk about how that one works. But in Hades 1, yeah, if you pick up a different spell, it changes your whole spell setup. So, like, if you get Dionysus, now it's a big bomb that explodes and does poison damage, if I remember right. And then you can get, like, a duo god boon, and suddenly it's I think, doing a chain lightning effect in that poison zone, and that's extremely good. And then you get the Hephaestus hammer, so it's not just one, you know, one poison cloud area. It's actually, like, 3 or 4 or something like that. And all of a sudden, your build has got an identity to it. It's got something special going on. The first run I played with this guy, I went for kind of status effects. Okay. If I do another run, I could go for crit. Am I going to notice a difference? Am I even going to feel a difference? Not really, no. And that's kind of part of the trick. I do like the fact that this guy has a completely different... Ooh, okay. Like, I do like the fact that they have different starting abilities, but one of the big ones that this needs is the ability to actually change my attack patterns or abilities and stuff. I really like this 3-hit combo. What if it was one of those that you only had, like, hit, 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 but then you find an upgrade that goes hit, 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 or hit, hit, that. Something like that. Like, if you were actually building your combo dynamically over the course of the run, that opens up a lot of places for you to do identity. You know, say you find a bunch of upgrades that actually make it so it's more of like a circular sweep around rather than a single hit. Oh, my character isn't going to be very good against bosses, but they're going to rip through groups really well. And then you start, like, picking some perks that maybe lend you more towards taunting or pulling enemies in close to you, and then you have this, like, big AoE mulcher build while one of your friends works for more, like, single target or status effects or something like that. That would make identity, that would make the run identity feel that much more distinct and interesting. Because, yeah, as it stands, I pretty much only have the options of going for, like, is this the run where I lean into Chain Lightning if it lets me? Is this the run I go for Poison if it lets me? Maybe I'll get a couple of those gear and equipment items that enhance it further, but there's only 5 of them, and they upgrade linearly, so there's, like, a really hard upper limit to how much build variety you're going to really see and meaningfully feel. And even then, if your, like, core gameplay loop, attack patterns, and everything aren't changing at all, that really does limit the overall, like, replay value of one of these games. You know, even this, like, dash, there's so much potential for this to turn into something else. We had the upgrade earlier where it released a Chain Lightning. That's good. What if it turns you into lightning and any enemy that you pass through during your dash triggers Chain Lightning? So now all of a sudden you want to go for dash distance, dash cooldown, you know, have some extra stats for that as well. So that now, instead of, you know, just having a somewhat like, yeah, it's kind of nice to dash through things or around things and avoid the damage, now it's like, no, I'm using dash aggressively as my lightning ability. Or maybe you get another one where it's like a short leap into a slam. Like this, but just naturally every time you do a dash. And then if you do a dash attack, it would do, you know, this kind of twice in short succession. The first for the dash, and then the second from the actual jump slam. Maybe. I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot of options that you could do with that. I recognize it would take an immense amount of work. But it feels like without that, this is going to be like fun for an afternoon, fun for a couple of evenings, then you put it away. And I think that can be fine too, but the market is extremely crowded right now. There's so many roguelikes. There's so many good roguelikes. And I'm craving a good party spectacle fighter one, and it feels like this could be it. But it's going to need a lot of work to get there. And I sincerely hope it gets there, and I don't want to say nothing in case it just gets passed over. I'm now blue and yellow. That's nice, I suppose. Anyway, I guess with all this said, I might as well say that the Godbreaker demo / playtest is available now on Steam. If you want to play it yourselves, just follow the link in the description below. Inundate the devs with positive and constructive feedback. I'm sure it would help them a lot, because this has such good bones. I love the idea of this. I want to see more. I think this is really cool, but it just needs so much more sauce to really get there. But for now, at least, yeah, guess with all that said, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like. It helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe, because I got tons to check out and show off. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.